Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarva Vide Namaha. Last Bheshaja Prayoga Prakaranam of the UpadeshSahasri, it is in the form of the dialogue between Atma and the mind, where Atma is addressing the mind. Abhava rupam tvasi hai he manaha nirikshamaane nahi yuktito stita. He manaha tvam abhava rupam asi. You are really non-existent. Yuktitaha nirikshamaane. When you are evaluated yuktitaha, with reasoning, on the first sight looks like you are there. But when we analyze you exactly as to what you are, astita nahi, you cannot be said to exist. Why is it so? What is the yukti here? Sato hi anasad asatopi ajanmatah. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate satah, satah anasad. That which is never suffers a loss, and that which is not never is. Dvayam chate chetas tava nastita ishyate. And therefore, tava nastita. So, as far as you are concerned, you have a nasha also, therefore you can't be said to be sat. Ajanmataha and asataha, asat is never born and sat never suffers a distraction. Dvayam chetaha tava nastita ishyate. And a chetaha, therefore, as far as you are concerned, all we can say is nastita. Janma vinashakyam te tava. In fact, you have both janma as well as vinasha. And therefore, that which has janma, so that which is existent or sat doesn't have a janma and you have janma. And that which is non-existent never is, and then you have the birth also. Ta paramathatvam naishyate. Therefore, you cannot be said to be sat or existent or to be there at all. Drashta cha drishyam cha tatha cha darshanam brahmastu sarvaha tava kalpito hi saha. This drashta, drishyam, darshanam, sarvaha, brahmaha, all of that is nothing but brahma, an appearance. Saha tava kalpito hi. Mind, you are the one who has projected the drashta, drishya, darshanam. किंच आगंतुकस्य विज्ञातसत्त्वभावापि आत्माद्वयेति आगंतुकस्य. So what which is incidental is not really there. दृश्यस्य भिन्नं नहि दृश्यमीक्षते. Drishyam, the object, cannot be said to be independent of the drashta, the subject. Swapan prabodena tathana vidyate, and Atma is not different in deep sleep as well as the waking. Evam vikalpa abhavepi vikalpana satyasti. So this is Brahma or Vikalpa. Drashta cha drishyam cha datha cha darshanam. That is Vikalpa, which is not really there. So next one says Evam Vikalpana Abhavepi. Accepting that this Vikalpana, this projection is not there. Vikalpana satyasti iti Vikalpa Abhavepi. So Drashta, Drishyam and Darsham, that Vikalpa is not there. But then Vikalpana, the projecting itself is there. What is projected is not there. But then Vikalpana, projecting itself is there. The act of projecting. The object of projection is not there, but the act of projecting is there. Because you have shown that what is projected, drashta, drishyam, darshanam, that is not there. But then the act of projection, that is there. Punah advaita anupatti, and therefore if that vikalpana also is there, act of projecting is there, then also it is different from Atma. Therefore, again Atma cannot be said to be non-dual. So the verse number 10 says, Vikalpana vapi tatha dvaya bhavet avastu yoga tadalata chakravat न शक्ति भेदोस्ति यतो न चात्मनाम् ततोद्वयत्वं श्रुतितो वसीयते. See, Atma is non-dual, then the mind is not there. There is nothing other than Atma. So again and again the non-duality of Atma is being established. That means mind, you are not there. Abhava rupam Tamasi he manaha. You are not there. All there is Atma. So vikalpana vapi tatha advaya bhavet avastu yogat vikalpana vapi tatha. Tatha drishyavad eva vikalpana vapi na vidyate iti. So just as the drishya, the object is not different from the subject. Because object is projected, what is projected is not different from the one who projects. Then act of projecting also is not different from the one who projects. Tata drishyavad eva vikalpanapi na vidyate. Similarly, like drishya is not different from drashta, and drishya is projected, therefore the projection also is not different from the drashta, the one who projects. इति पूर्वश्लोकगत अनुकर्षणार्थ वा शब्दः. So vikalpanapi na vidyate iti. So vikalpana vapi na vidyate. So na vidyate is what you have to add here. So Swapan prabodena tatha na vidyate. The last verse concluded with the words na vidyate. Vikalpana api tatha na vidyate. This is how, similarly, the vikalpana also is not separate, doesn't have an independent existence. तथा अद्वया भवेत् अवस्तु योगात् तत् अलाद चक्रवत् किंतु अवस्तु योगात्. So what is this vikalpana? I mean, what is the act of projecting? Avastu yogat, because it is associated with what is not vastu. So avastu vishayakataya. So avastu, or what is non-existent, is the vishaya of this vikalpana also, meaning that what you project, like drashta, drishyam, drishya, drashta, drishyam and darshanam. There is vikalpana vishaya, but that also was projected and said to be non-existent, and therefore avishayakataya. What is projected, namely drashta, drishyam, drashya, is avishaya, is not there. Then nirupyatvat, and therefore, so vikalpana also is determined from what is, projection is also determined from what is projected, and what is projected is not there, therefore projection also is not there in reality. Meaning that the act of projection also does not stand apart from Atma, because that also does not have real existence. If what is projected does not have real existence, then the act of projection also does not have real existence. Advaya adhisthana atirikta swaruparahita bhaved. Therefore, vikalpana also is advaya, is also not separate from Atma. So the projection can never be different from the adhisthana, the substratum upon which the projection takes place. So what is projected, such as the rope snake, cannot be different from adhisthana, which is rope. Then the act of projecting the snake also cannot be there unless rope, the adhisthana, is there. Therefore, the projection, act of projection also cannot be separate from adhisthana. Therefore, advaya adhisthana atirikta swaruparahita bhavet. The snake is not different from the rope, which is adhisthana. Then projection also, the act of projection also is not different from the adhisthana. Because projection cannot take place without adhisthana. So what is projection? Alada chakravata Brahmat ulmukasya chakrakarta iti yojana. Like alata, which is the torch, burning torch, alata. Fuljadi. Or, yes, if you have a torch means a flame. So you have a stick here and then there's a flame, that's a torch. And if you turn that into dark, then all kinds of forms are created, which are nothing but projected. So projection is compared to alada chakra, like the circular motion of a burning torch, So imagine that at the end of a torch there is just the ember, and that when you turn that in the dark room, then there are all kinds of forms. Brahmat ulmukasya chakrakarvat iti yojana. How various chakra or circles or various geometrical figures that you see, they are just projection. They do not exist apart from the ulmuka or that burning torch. यथा भ्रमतः अलातस्य चक्राकारता न पृथक वस्तु. So when you turn an alata or a burning torch, then that chakrakarata, that circular shape is not a separate vastu. The shape that you see in the dark, the chakrakarta, is not an entity by in itself, it's just an appearance. There is no circle there, and therefore that circle, which is formed by rotating a burning torch, is not a vastu, it's just an appearance. Tatha vikalpana. So just as that is not separate from the torch, the circle, this the circular form is not separate from torch, and so also vikalpana being na chidatmatirekena prathak vastu sati na bhavati. So vikalpana also, not only that circular form, but the act of turning also is not, circular form is seen before there is an act of turning the torch. The turning also is not a separate thing. It's not a real thing. So circle is not, and the very process of creating circle also is equally unreal. And so if that circle is not separate from the burning torch, the creating a circle also is not separate from the burning torch. Vikalpana means the projection. In this case, the act of turning. What is created is a circle after turning. But the way it is created is when you turn, the turning also is not separate from that torch, separate from torch. So similarly also the projection of drashta, drishyam, darshanam also is comparable to the turning of the torch, circular form of the torch is not separate from, in this case, Advaya Atma. Tathapi na Atmana Advaitvam. Another question. Even then, Atma is still not proven to be non-dual. Why? Drishti, Shruti, Matyadi, Shakti, Rupasya, Swagata Vedasya Sattvat. But Atma is Drashta, Shruta, Manta. So the Atma possesses the act or possesses the capacity. Atma possesses the power of seeing, so it's called seer. Atma possesses the power of hearing, so it's called hearer. Atma possesses power of thinking, so it's called thinker. So thus, drishti, shruti, matyadi, drishti, seeing, shruti, hearing, mati, thinking, ityadi shakti rupasya. So Atma becomes drashta, shruta, manta. And drashta, the seer, possesses the power of seeing. Manta, the thinker, possesses the power of thinking. The listener, hearer, possesses power of hearing. So Atma possesses those different Shaktis. And therefore the drashta is different from Shrota and Shrota is different from Manta. So even though Atma is one, the internal differences are there. It's called Swagata Veda. Even the body is one, the hand, the legs, and all these things are different from each other. Or even if this person is one, now he is a father, then his son, then his brother, then his husband, and so forth. So all the internal differences are there. That's called Swagata Veda. The inherent duality. That is one reason why you cannot say Atma is non-dual, because there are. So non-dual is sajatiya, vijatiya, swagata bheda rahitam. One that does not have sajatiya, and an object of the same class, vijati, an object of different class, swagata, and any internal differences. So like a tree has a sajatiya veda with another tree. Vijayati Abhe with reference to rock, Swakata Bheda with references to branches, etc. So Atma doesn't have a Sajati Abheda, there is no other Atma. No Vijayati Abheda, Vikalpana, the other Atma also is not there. But Atma possesses these inner differences, Ishrata, Manta, Vijnata. Secondly, Tata Prati Shariram Atma Veda Prasanat. And also it is very commonly known that Atma is different in every body. As many upadhis are there, embodiments are there, that many Atmas are there. This is what is generally commonly understood. That also could not be unless Atmas are different in different bodies. Sajate bhedopattescha, there were one Atma is different, other Atma, even though they are similar, but they are different. So, as many embodiments are there, that many Atmas are there, therefore, Atma suffers from Sajatiya Bheda, the duality, division created by the objects of its own class. So, division, internal division, division created by objects of its own class. Sajatiya Ashankya, iti Ashankya, Shitu Shruti Virodat, Ma Evam, he says no. Shruti dismisses all this kind of duality, internal duality or the duality of the same class. So the third line of verse said, Na Shakti Vedosti yataha, na cha Atmanam Vedahasti, na Shakti Vedasti yataha, na cha Atmanam Vedahasti. There is no Shakti Veda. That hearing, thinking, seeing, talking is one different Shaktis and they are different. So Atma becomes different, possessing different Shaktis. Or the Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata are various Atmas and there were internal difference. So that duality is also, is that not there? So then how do you experience it? I know that I am a Vakta now, that I am Shrota, I am Drashta, it's a fact. तथा च श्रुति अकृष्णोहि सह प्राणन्नेव प्राणना भवति वदन् वाक् पश्यन् चक्षु शृण्वन् श्रोत्रं मन्वानो मनः. So this is Bhurodagna Upanishad, which says that Atma, so having created, he entered there. What is it? Iha pravishtah anakhagrevya. Having created this upadhi, iha pravishtah anakhagrevya. Up to the tip of the nail, Atma entered this. And then, prananeva pranana bhavati. He becomes the breather when he breathes. Vadan Vag becomes the speaker when he speaks. Pashyan Chakshuhu is the seer when he sees. Shrunan Shrota becomes hearer when he hears. Manvano Manaha becomes a thinker when he thinks. Akrishna Isa. Each one of these is the incomplete expression of Atma. Although they are Atma. The hearer is also Atma, speaker also is Atma, thinker also is Atma. We don't say they are not. Akrishnoitaha, each one is an incomplete expression of Atma. Etani karmanamani, all of these are only functional names of Atma, depending upon what function he performs. Tani asya etani karmanamani eva. So drashta, shrota, manta, vijnata, all of these are karmanamani, functional names of the Atma. That means that just as an actor gets different designations when he puts on various costumes, or a person also gets different designations depending on how he is related to. So somebody may call him brother, somebody call him father, somebody call him husband and so forth. All functional names, karmanamani eva iti. Chidatmanah drishyadi vedasya upadhikatam darshayati. Upanishad shows that this Veda of drashta, shrota, manta is aupadhika, is because of upadhi. So darshanam, shravanam, mananam is all in upadhi, not in atma. Like crystal, and so all different colors are in the objects which are placed beside the crystal. And crystal appears to possess those colors temporarily, and if you change the object, the crystal appears also to change the colors. So also Atma appears to change the function depending upon what's the nature of Upadhi, but they are all due to the Upadhi and not inherently there in Atma. Chidatmana drishtyadevet upadhikatam darshayati. This Veda is due to Upadhi. Eko, already it is said, tani asya tani karma namani bhavanti. And then also there are not many Atmas. There is no internal difference in Atma, nor there are more than one Atma. Eko deva bahudha nivishtaha. Nivishtaha, pravishtaha, one Atma alone, one Devata. One self-effulgent Lord, namely Atma, has misplaced in various ways, obtaining in various ways in different embodiments. Ekam santam bahuda kalpayanti. One who is one is thought to be many. Ekastatha sarabhutantaratma. So Atma is one as the self of all the beings. Ityadi Shruti Atmana Saratra Ekat. These Shrutis show how even though Atmas seem to appear as many, in reality Atma is one alone. Sarabhutantaratma, Antaratma, indwelling self of all the beings. Ityadi Shruti Atmana Sarvatra Ekatvama. That Shruti shows the non-duality or oneness of Atma everywhere. Tatha Bhed Nisheda Shrutayo Vyatra Udaharyaha Neha Nanasti Kinchana, and there are Bhed Nisheda Shrutaya. There are many Shruti statements that also negate the Bheda or the division or duality. So Neha Nanasti Kinchana and stuff. Then continuing, this is Tikakara Aga Bhakyanam Atma Veda Kalpanam Yuktya Nirakaroti. Aga, this is the Kalpana of the, so Agama Bhakyanam. Those fellows were the Kalpanas of the fellows who are the following Agamas, And so those who are Vedikas, they have this kind of Kalpanas. They are dismissed. Now those are non-Vedikas. Aga Bhakhyana, they will not accept the statements of the Veda. So those who do not look up, see, earlier words, the non-duality of Atma has been established by the evidence from the Upanishad or from the Veda. And that is all right for us who look upon Veda as Pramanam. But Aga Bhakhyana, those who don't accept Veda as Pramanam, for them you cannot again present Veda as a proof. Then you need to provide yukti. So, Aga Bhakhyana, Atma Veda Kalpana, the Atma Veda Kalpana, the imagination, projection of the manyness of the Atma, yuktya nirakaroti. So that is refuted by yukti. Because Shruti is not accepted as Pramanam, therefore by yukti, that is negated here. So, verse 11. Mithascha bhinna idite hi chetanaha kshayastu tesham parinamayogatah ध्रुवो भवेद् भेदवतां हि दृष्टतः जगत्क्षयश्चापि समस्तमोक्षतः So this is now the non-Vedikas talking about the many-names of Atma. Mitasya vinnaha edi te chetanaha. All those chetanas, the conscious beings, are different, mutually different. Kshayasya tesham parinamayogatah. If they are different from each other, then each one is subject to, each one is mortal. And then, well, they will all die. So that is what. If there are many, then many, that if there are more than one, then they will interact with each other. And thus cause some kind of change in each other. Even if a mountain is there, as long as the wind is different, rain is different, atmosphere is different, we keep on acting upon a huge mountain also, and in millions of years it will flatten out. So, says chetanaha atmanaha yadi mithaha bhinnaha syuhu. Chetana. Conscious being means consciousness. So atmana. Because he says there are many conscious beings, there are many atmas, there are chetanaha. Atmana. If atma, the consciousnesses are many, mitha means mutually different. Each mutually they are different from each other. Tarhi ye bhinnaha te parimitaha. Each one will limit the other. Each one stands apart from the other. Therefore, each one is not what the other one is. Therefore, each one limits the other in time, place, and object. Te parimitaha. Then each one of them will be limited. There is a parimiti. So they will be all circumscribed, and therefore they will be all limited in their time, place. Yatha mulankurada. That's an interesting example. Like the mula, the root, and the ankura, the sprout, are many, and they are different from each other, and they are perishable. Ye cha parimitaha te vinashinaha. So just as the root and the shoot, which are all different from each other, therefore they are all perishable. Tadvadeva. So Atma is also different from each other, will be perishable, just as the root and shoot that are different are perishable. So that's a yukti that is presented here. Iti atmana vinashyatva prasanga iti samudayartah kshayastu tesham parinamayogatah. Because they are parinamayogatah, they will be subject to parinama, subject to change and modification. If the chetanas or atmas are different from each other, then each one will limit the other, and therefore each one will be subject to change or modification, so they will be all perishable. Kshayastu tesham. Therefore, they will perish, they will ultimately get destroyed. Iti atmanam vinashitva prasanga. That way, if you think atmas are many, then each atma will limit the other, each atma will anyway cause the destruction of the other, therefore all of them become indestructible, perishable. Parinamayogatah tesham kshayastu dhruva bhavet. Therefore, parinamayogatah. Because they are associated with parinama or change or modification, because they are different from each other, therefore kshaya, declining and destruction will definitely take place. Bhedavatami drushtataha. Bhedavata drushtataha vinasha darshanati yojana. This is what we find. Bhedavatam, those which are different from each other, separate from each other, then each one is perishable. Because each one is circumscribed, limited in time, place, and condition. However great that thing is, even if it's a big mountain or a big galaxy, as long as it is limited, so long it will end someday. Bhedavatam vinasha darshana. Drishta means we have seen that all those things that are mutually exclusive, they are all subject to destruction. They are perishable. Kincha Vedapakshe Ekaikashman Kalpe. A very interesting argument here. Vedapakshe, suppose Atmas are many, but still, Ekaikasmin Kalpe, Ekaikam, Ekaika Muktau. Suppose in one kalpa one Atma gets liberated. Atmas are many, but then kalpa cycles are also countless. In each cycle, just one Atma gets liberated. In countless cycles, countless Atmas will get liberated. So, no Atmas will liberate. If they are separate, they will be all liberated. Ekaikam, Ekaika Ananteshu, Gadakalpeshu, Anantanam, Jivanam, Mukti Sambhavat. Ekaika Muktavapi. So, Ekaikasmin Kalpe, Ekaika Muktau. In one kalpa or one cycle of creation, just one Atma gets liberated, let us say. Then also there are countless kalpa cycles, so countless Atmas get liberated. Anantanam, Jivanam, Mukti Sambhavat. See, if Jivas are Ananta, that is Mukti is possible for them also because the kalpas are Ananta. Idanim samasta mokshata bhoktru. Then if all the Atmas get liberated in countless cycles of creation, bhoktru, then there is no individual left, there is no experiencer left, there is no enjoyer left. Tadarthanam bhogyanam jagatam kshaschapi bhavet. If bhokta is not there, then ultimately bhoga vishaya also will perish. See, the thing is that Ishvara has created all this nature and then Ishvara has created us also to enjoy them, experience them. If experience is not there according to them, then the experience also will perish. That I do not know, but anyway, I think before the human being came, they were all prospering. I'm sure the nature was prospering if human being was not around. After his coming, in fact, that there is a problem. But anyway, they say that bhoktru bhava. Because the idea is that bhogya, the object of is meant for the experiencer. If experiencer is not there, experienced object will not be there. Because we have, the eyes wanted the colors and forms and ears wanted the sound. So according to these organs of perception, the objects are made. Now, what is the sequence of creation we have to see? Whether the means of experience came after the objects or objects came after the means of experience. Ears are there, therefore sound came, or sound is there, for ears came. But anyway, suppose sound came because ear is there, or ear is there because sound came. If sound is not there, ear will have nothing to do. Bhoktru bhave tadarthanam bhogyanam jagadam kshashchapya bhavet. If the experiencer all get liberated, there is nobody to experience, then this jagat which is experienced or object of experience also will not be there. Therefore, there is nothing. Samasta mokshataha jagat shaschapi ata veda paksho duryuktikaha. Therefore, this is a very interesting argument. If Atmas are many, then this is the consequence. Then everything will come to an end. Anyway, so ityartha. ननु तवापि जगज्जीव ईश्वरादिभेदस्य विद्यमानत्वात् कथमुक्तदोषपरिहारः इति. So tavapi, for you the non-dual is the Vedanta, and also Jagat-Jiva Ishvaradi Bhedasya Vidyamana. But you also accept the Bheda. You accept the duality of Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara and Ishvara. Jiva is the individual being, Jagat is the Achetana, the object of experience. Ishvara is the creator, is vast and without any limitation. So you Vedantin also accept the Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara Bheda. Katha mukta dosha parihara. Then how do you also refute the dosha, the defect, of the Atmas being many and or the non-duality? The duality is still there. If you accept Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara as different, then again we are accepting Dvaita. So the next verse is Namesti kaschit nachasosmi kaschit yato dvayoham nahi chasti kalpitam akalpitaschasmi pura prasiddhitah vikalpanaya dvayamev kalpitam. Name asti kaschit. There is nothing that belongs to me. Nacha sosmi kaschit. Nor do I belong to anybody. Nothing is mine and I am not anybody's. Yataha advayoham. Therefore I am non-dual. That's interesting way of saying. Because I don't belong to anybody, nothing belongs to me, therefore I am non-dual. Nichasti kalpitam, and there is nothing that is kalpitam or projected, because all that is I am. So Tika says, yato aham advaya vastutah me gunabhutam pradhanabhuto va anyadusho va na kasid asti. Because I am non-dual. Therefore, no guna bhutam, nothing inferior to me. Guna also can be anga, that there is no angangi, there is no limbs or there is no part of me. Pradhana bhutova, nor am I any part of anything. Anyadrushova, there is nobody like me also. So there is nothing inferior to me, nothing superior to me, there is nothing other than me. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya, as Lord Krishna says. Yasyapi kasyachit ahamasmi sopi na chasti iti sambandha. That yasyapi kasya, of somebody to whom I belong, even that is also not there, because I don't belong to anybody and nobody belongs to me, and therefore there is nobody whom I belong to. Yatra kalpitam jagat taccha nahi asti. And if there is nothing other than me, then where will you project the universe? Therefore, all jagat that is separate from me also is not there. Kalpitam jagat. Since there is nothing other than me, even jagat that is kalpitam also is not there. Tathacha jiveshvara jagat bhedasya pramana ashishnutayaha. Therefore, this division of the jiva jagat bheda is not in keeping with pramanam. Because advaya if I am advaya, then there is nothing other than me. I don't belong to anything, nothing belongs to me. And therefore, there is nothing that is kalpitam, nothing that is projected, because there is no one that projects upon something. So, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, that Bheda also, that projection also, is not possible. Pramana abhava ashishnutaya. So, they are all kalpana, that there is no Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara in reality, they are different from each other, because that duality it cannot be proven by any yukti or any pramanam. Alankaratva, just a figure of speech, So, Jiva Jagat Ishvara we say, but Nasti asmasu ukta dosha prasanga. Therefore, yes, we say Jiva Jagat Ishvara, but nothing more alankara, nothing more than ornament, a figure of speech, and therefore, as far as we are concerned, there is no duality. Now a different kind of an objection is nanu dvaitavada advaitasyapi padarthatva avisheshat. See, Dvaita is an entity. And Advaita also is an entity. If Advaita is an entity, like Dvaita also is. So Padartha, so whatever kind of rule or whatever that Padartha Dvaita is subject to, that will be applicable to Advaita with Padarthatva. So now in a different way, Dvaita is an entity, Advaita also is an entity. Kalpitatvam tadavasthamiti. The way Dvaita is kalpitam, then Dvaita is padartha. So padartha is kalpita, Advaita also is padartha. So Advaita also is kalpita. See, Dvaitam is kalpitam and Dvaitam is padartha. So Advaita also is padartha. Therefore Advaita also is kalpitam. So kalpitatvam tadavastam. Means kalpitatvam, that projectedness remains. Even Advaita being padartha also is kalpita. Dvaita is kalpita and Dvaita is padartha. Advaita also is an entity. Any entity is always projected. So Advaita also is projected. Then the answer is Niradhisthana kalpana ayogat. Will project upon what? Advaita is there, upon that you project Advaitam. But Advaita will be projected upon what? For projection you require Adhisthana. Niradhisthana kalpana ayogat. For Advaita to be projected, there may be something upon which the projection takes place. But Advaita also is, which is projected, does not exist before its projection. So Advaita also is not there before it is projected. So there is no Adhisthana power to project. Niradhisthana kalpana yoga. See, Dvaita is projected, Advaita is there as Adhisthana projection. We say that Advaita also is projected, some other Adhisthana is required. Now there is none. So Niradhisthana kalpana ayogat. There cannot be projection without Adhisthana or substratum. Niradhika bhada yogacha. Further, when you keep on negating, the negation also should have ultimately a boundary. Negation cannot be boundless. And so, niravadhika bhada yogacha. So there may be something that is not negated. For projection to take place, there may be something that is not projected upon which projection takes place. For negation, there may be something that is not negatable, that avadhi or limit also must be there. Sarvakalpanaya prageva siddham kalpita bhadavadita paschadam avashishyamanam. So you say that Dvaita is kalpana. Kalpana presupposes an adhisthana. So kalpana requires something upon which kalpana is done. Without some entity substance, kalpana cannot take place. Without adhishthanam, kalpana cannot take place. So if Dvaita is kalpana, something must be there for kalpana of Dvaita to take place. And if that kalpana is negated, something must be, some residue must be there as the end of the, as the culmination of that negation. So after negation also, something should remain. Negation cannot lead into non-existence, Meaning that what is existing before projection is not projected, and what exists after negation is not negated. What exists before projection cannot be projected, and what exists after negation cannot be negated. Therefore, some vastu must be there which is not projected, which is not negatable. Therefore, kintu svata siddham vastu. And therefore, that which existed before projection and that which exists even after negation, that has to be accepted. For projection, we must accept an adhishthanam. For negation, we always accept a boundary of negation. So that which existed before projection, that which exists after negation has to be accepted. And that must be what? Svata siddham. That must provide the basis of projection as well as negation. Now that cannot be kalpitam. Svata siddham. Vastu advaya shabdena uchyate. So that which existed before projection, that which exists or remains after negation, it must be self-existing, because upon that all the operations take place. So you would accept a self-existing entity. That is advaya shabdena uchyate. This is what we mean by advaya, non-dual. Therefore the verse said, akalpitaschapi chasmi pura prasiddhitah. Akalpitaschapi. Hey mind, you are kalpita and I am akalpita. Pura prasiddhitah, because I existed even before kalpana. So vikalpanayaha pura prasiddhitah, because I existed before vikalpana. Dvayameva kalpitam, only duality is projected. So Tika says, vikalpanayaha pura prasiddhitah aham akalpitosmi. Because I existed before the vikalpana, therefore I am akalpita, because the adhisthana must be there, not projected, for projection to take place. And therefore, if I existed before the kalpana, I must be akalpita. Chakarat, so Name sti kaschit nasosmi kaschit dvayam chasti kalpitam. One chakara there, okay. So chakarat urdhvam api avadhibhutatvat. And urdhvam later also, after negation also, I remain as avadhi. It's a very boundary, as a very residue of all negation. And madhyeja tat sakshitvat. In between also I am there as sakshi of the whole process. Because nothing can take place unless there is a witness. Therefore, akalpitaha, I am one that is unprojected, non-imagined. Therefore, I am real, akalpiteva asmiti grihyate. Parisheshat sapeksham dvayameva kalpitam ityartha. So last verse saying in verse 12, dvayameva kalpitam. If I am a kalpita, then other than me, what is kalpitam is dvayam. So therefore, dvayam eva kalpitam ityartha. Uktameva spashtikurvan atmanah vikalpanadi avishayatvamaha. Uktam, what he said earlier, that the adhisthana must be there before the kalpana, and after negation also there must be something that is residue, that is a boundary, and that is how the non-dual has to be accepted before the kalpana and after negation also. Atmana vikalpanadi avishayattvamaha. Why not Atma also is kalpita? So Atma cannot be the object of kalpana. So next verse says, vikalpana chapya bhavena vidyate sadanya dityeva mato nanastita yatah pravutta tava chapi kalpana pura prasiddhena chitadhi kalpitam. Vikalpana chapi abhavena vidyate. I cannot vikalpita because I am unborn. So what is born, what is created is can be projected. So creation is equal to projection, but I am unborn, I am birthless, therefore I cannot be projected. So says Tika, Nasti bhava abhave, Nasti bhava utpatti yasya tad abhavam. The one that does not have the origin, one that does not have birth is called abhava, unborn. Tasmin abhave, now that unborn also is undying. Because jatasya dhruva mrityu. There is not born, there is no death, therefore nitya sat anyat sata anyat asadityapi vikalpana nacha vidyate. So that which is not born, that which is indestructible, there sadanyat. Sata anyat asat. Sadanyat means asat. Ityapi vikalpana na vidyate. That asat, non-existence also cannot be there for that which is nityam. अतः न नास्तिता अतः एव सति न नास्तिता आत्मन नित्यत्वात् therefore there cannot be non-existence of Atma because it is nitya. So say the verse vikalpana chapi abhavena vidyate. Abhave nitye atmani vikalpana na vidyate. Sat anyat iti vikalpana ityapi. Atah nastita, there cannot be non-existence also of that which is nitya or eternal. Yatah pravritta tvachapi kalpana pura prasiddher. Tvachapi kalpana pura prasiddhe. Before the kalpana also, the I existed, there were what existed before kalpana cannot be kalpitam. So says kincha amanaskasya kalpana anudayat. See, all kalpana is done by the mind. If the mind is not yet created, there is no kalpana. And I am there before the mind is created, therefore amanaska. I am without the mind, therefore there is no kalpana. So when I am there is no kalpana. Manasya agantukataya swarupa satta abhavat, and mind is something incidental, therefore what comes and goes doesn't have an inherent existence. Tadapi savilasam yatra kalpitam, therefore the mind along its projection is where it is kalpitam or imagined. Tanna kalpana alambaram. So the Atma cannot be the kalpana. Atma cannot be the base of kalpana, which must exist before the kalpana. So mind is kalpitam. And I existed before you because before kalpana, non-kalpit has to be there. And therefore, tadapi savilasam yatra kalpitam. So mind, you are agantuka. You are not there when I was there. Then you came into being. And so you are agantuka. And therefore you are kalpitam. You are projected upon me. But I, upon whom you are projected, cannot be projected. Kintu sarkalpana sakshitvena purvapara kalana kala kalana kalitam. Therefore, sarvakalpana sakshitvena. Because I am the sakshi of all the kalpana. I existed before you came, and you are the kalpana, and I am the sakshi of the kalpana. And kalpana, sakshi, all that you project further. Purvapara kala kalana kalitam, purva and apara. Meaning that I existed before you, I exist after your kalpana also, and therefore, so that which is sakshitvena, so that is which exists before and after all the kalpana. Kutasthamaiva atma tattvam. Atma tattvam is changeless. Yataha pravutta sadasad vikalpana vicharavadvapi tathadvayam cha sata. Yatah pravutta sadasad vikalpana. All vikalpana, the projection of sat and asat, are from which? Vicharavadvapi tatha advayam cha sat. Sorry, I said what happened. Yatah pravritta tavachapi kalpana. पुरा प्रसिद्धे न च तद्धि कल्पितम. So yatah pravritta tava chapi kalpana. That from which your kalpana itself came, namely Atma, that pura prasiddhe, the Atma must exist, I must exist before you, from which your kalpana came, and then nasatadhi kalpitam, then that from, so that which existed before your kalpana cannot be kalpitam, because otherwise something else must exist. Something must exist before kalpana. So you are kalpita, hey mind, and therefore I was always there before you. If I am kalpita, something else must be there. Ultimately, akalpitam, a non-projected basis must be there, and that is what I am. So, therefore, yatah pravritta tava manasah chapi kalpana. He mind, your kalpana also originated from which? That must exist before the kalpana. Na taddi kalpitam, and that cannot be projected. Tat kalpanayaha api pura prasiddhe. So, before your kalpana also, I existed before your kalpana, and therefore you are the one that is incidental and not I. I am abhava. I am unprojected. I am not unborn, and therefore I cannot be projected. You are the projected one. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Guru Bhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
હરિઓમ હરિઓમ. તો કાર્યક્રમની તૈયારી બધા કરી રહ્યા છે, હું જોઉં છું. આપણે ભાવ અભિવ્યક્તિનો જે કાર્યક્રમ રાખ્યો છે એમાં વક્તાઓના જે નામ આવ્યા છે હું જરા કહી દઉં છું. કદાચ કંઈક ભૂલ હોય કે કંઈ રહી ગયું હોય કે કશું જુદું થયું હોય તો જરા ધ્યાનથી આપણે સાંભળી લઈએ, અને જરૂર હોય તો મને કહો કે ફેરફાર કરવાનો હોય તો. 24મી ડિસેમ્બરે આ કાર્યક્રમ છે, સવારે 7 થી 7:30 થી 9